Perfect. All right, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for the information session on AMI RockChain's new Cooperative Aggregates program. My name is Adam Brome, and I am an Administrative Coordinator with SARM. We're going to start off today's webinar with a brief intro to the Adobe Connect platform. We'll then transition into the main session, or the main presentation, and that will be followed by a Q&A session. Today's webinar will be recorded, and a copy of that recording will be available on our website under the webinars page following today's session. To maximize your audio and video quality during today's sessions and future sessions, please either join us through Google Chrome or the Adobe Connect desktop app. We can send you a direct link to the download if you are interested in downloading the desktop application. And I think my audio was cutting out. Is it okay now, guys? I think it's fine. Perfect. There's also a chat box located, which you guys have already seen, located on the right side of the webinar window. This is visible by all webinar participants and facilitators. You can use this to connect with other attendees, bring any technical difficulties to the speaker's attention for troubleshooting, or to provide any other comments and/or feedback. There's a dedicated question and answer box labeled Submit Questions Here, which is located right underneath the chat box. This is where you can submit any of the questions that you may have regarding the webinar content throughout today's session. Please do not submit any questions through the chat box. There will also be a copy of today's presentation available for download during the Q&A portion of the session next to the chat box. Please let us know in the chat if you are unable to download the file, and I will email it to you directly. And if you're experiencing any technical difficulties during today's event, please notify us in the chat box and we will do our best to troubleshoot. And with saying that, I will now hand it over to Amanda Kozak, SARM's Trading Services Advisor, who will be moderating today's session.
Save time and money with everyday purchases by combining forces. Group buying allows municipalities access to a wide range of industry standard products and services and receive preferred membership pricing. This is a free service available to all SARM members. SARM also ensures that the procurement of products and services made available to the members meets the requirements of the New West Trade Partnership Agreement and the Canadian Free Trade Agreement. We participate in this process by advertising on SAS Tender's website. On today's call, I also have Ainsley Murdock, who is SARM's Client Relations Manager. She will also be facilitating the Q&A session at the end of this webinar.
Great. Thank you for the introduction, Amanda. As noted, my name is Ainsley Murdock, and I'm the Client Relations Manager with SARM Trading Services. So my role as Client Relations Manager is to assist SARM members in all their procurement requirements. So I can work with your team to source out equipment you might be looking for, or help you obtain membership pricing and maximize supplier discounts connected with the program. I also can connect you with your local sales reps in the area to better use the program. So feel free to reach out to me at any time with any questions you may have, or to schedule a call or meeting with your team so we can review your unique procurement requirements. And I can outline how to maximize the key benefits of the program. So today we are thrilled to present our new aggregate management program with AMI RockChain. This contract was developed based on members' requests for aggregate solutions. So through this program, SARM Trading Services can now fulfill all your aggregate requirements, such as gravel, asphalt, sand, and more, all while utilizing your local quarries, pits, and producers. So the aggregates program through AMI RockChain helps SARM members source and transport surface materials, provides access to resource mapping, modeling, and stockpile monitoring, and offers options for regulatory and resource engineering services. So during this educational webinar, AMI RockChain will provide an online demonstration showing how members can navigate their own software to create efficiencies and savings on all your future projects. So joining me on today's call is Dana Archibald, Paul Levier, Anthony Beeling, and Robert Beekhuizen. So right now, I'm going to pass it over to Dana to get us started with today's presentation.
Excellent. Thanks a lot there, Ainsley, and Adam and Amanda as well. And good afternoon, everyone. we're excited to present to the Saskatchewan Association of Rural Municipalities and wanted to thank the participants for joining us during the busy seeding and construction season. Today we are going to be providing a demonstration of our RockChain platform for the supply and delivery of aggregates. But before we jump into the demo, we're going to speak briefly on AMI's history, the services that we provide through the Trade Services Program, the overall benefits of using AMI RockChain for your aggregate needs. So to start us off, Athabasca Minerals Inc. is the parent company of AMI RockChain. We've been in the aggregates business for the better part of a quarter century. We got our start managing aggregate pits on behalf of the government of Alberta and expanded into the development of our own pits and quarries, as well as completing pit management services for First Nation businesses and community partners. We're a full cycle aggregates company from prospecting, regulatory and environmental permitting, resource modeling, and mine planning, all the way through the actual mining, crushing, trucking, and finally pit reclamation. Moving to AMI RockChain, which is the focus of today's discussion, RockChain is our digital platform for the purchase and transportation of aggregates and has grown to also offer aggregates and resource-related services to its client and supplier base. We incorporated AMI RockChain 3 years ago, largely to support our clients that were completing projects outside of AMI's geographical region. Since inception, RockChain has developed a network of just under 8,000 aggregate suppliers and nearly 2,000 trucking companies across West Central Canada, from Vancouver Island to the eastern border of Ontario and growing into the Maritimes. Since August of 2019, AMI RockChain has completed over $450 million worth of aggregate bids, creating over 6,300 unique data points of regional econometrics in our system. This market intelligence, as it relates to our aggregates, is provided to our clients to show trends in the regional market. By leveraging our network and regional econometrics, we are able to provide the SARM members with an optimal pricing and delivery solution for all your aggregate requirements. In 2020, AMI RockChain acquired TerraShift Engineering, which provides resource, environmental, and regulatory engineering services to the aggregates industry. TerraMaps, our mapping and resource application, powers our RockChain platform. Moving to slide 3. As a delivery partner for the Trade Services Aggregate Program, AMI RockChain offers the following aggregate supply and delivery services. The RockChain network includes all the licensed aggregate pits in Saskatchewan, with access to these aggregate suppliers across the province, including local producers, and with a focus on local producers. Our network provides the full range of dimensional and specialty aggregate products to meet your construction and maintenance needs. By leveraging our network and regional econometrics, which we continuously update with every bid, AMI RockChain is able to provide our clients with optimal pricing and delivery solutions on each and every project. The other benefit of our regional market intelligence is that RockChain can help the members with their budget forecasting using the most up-to-date pricing. We guarantee the quality and quantity of the products we deliver. AMI RockChain has an internal quality department, including quality technicians, as well as network of third-party quality laboratories to ensure all products produced and delivered to your project meet the designated engineering specification and quantities ordered. We ensure the safe delivery of our aggregates through our transportation pre-qualification program, where we confirm insurance coverage, vehicle inspection certifications, and client-specific safety requirements are met prior to the delivery of any of our products to your worksite. Moving to slide 4. For SARM members that have or have access to aggregate resources, we offer the following value-added services: regulatory and environmental engineering. For SARM members that have aggregates within their region, we can assist you with identifying aggregate deposits through remote sensing, predictive software, and field verification, resource exploration, testing, and resource modeling, completion of regulatory and environmental applications for gravel pits and quarries on both public and private lands. This includes biophysical studies, Water Act applications, as well as biophysical and wetland assessments. Compliance monitoring and reporting on your existing pits, roads, and laydowns, and reclamation reporting and monitoring, and as well as reclamation certification for your depleted assets. We also provide pit management services for the clearing, stripping, mining, crushing, loading, scaling, drone services, quantity control and inventory management, as well as on-site and laboratory quality testing. The Trade Services Program saves you time and money. When using the AMI RockChain through this program, the tendering process for aggregates has already been completed on your behalf. And with that, we'll get to the exciting part of our demonstration here today with Paul showing you our platform. Take it away, Paul.
Thanks, Dan. Sorry, I was muted there. Can you guys see my map here? So yeah, what we're looking at here is RockChain 2.0. It's the new released platform. Over the last couple of years, we've been utilizing RockChain 1.0, and since then we've advanced the technology and implemented some efficiencies. And this is what created 2.0, which we're looking at right here. This is actually the back office or the super administrative view of the system. So what we can look at here is all the different suppliers, orders, and transporters that we have in the system. So if I turn some of these off, you can see these are historical orders that have been submitted to the system. If I look at just suppliers, these are all the different supply points that we have in the RockChain platform. Like Dana mentioned, we have just about 8,000 points of pits that we can pull from, as well as we have over 1,500 trucking companies that we have access to and utilize our platform. And additionally, we have quite a few different quality labs and QA and quality labs that we can use for doing quality control on your products. What I'm going to show you though is like the user interface that you guys would work with. So this is the interface that you guys would see. It's you won't see all the other supply points or orders in the system, simply because we have to protect people's data. So what you'll see is any supply points that you enter, you'll see them there. Any orders that you submit, you'll see in the platform as well. We also have available to you guys different layers that you can actually turn on. So things like township grids, you can turn those on. If you want to turn on counties or the rural municipalities, you can turn that on. We have that layer as well. Also have railways and pipelines as well that you can turn on and have access to. So what I'm going to work through is just a quick example of how you guys can actually use a platform to request aggregates. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up here to my my bar at the top here. I'm going to first start by looking up the location where I want to get my aggregates delivered to. So let's start by going to the search. This opens up our search tab. In the search tab, we can type a location. So I'm going to type in Harris. This will zoom the map to that location. So now I'm looking at Harris, Saskatchewan. Additionally, I can also look up a legal land location. So I'm going to type a legal land location in to dial in the area. And as I start typing in, it gives me hints as options what I can actually select. So I want this this one here, so I'm going to click it. It'll zoom the map to that location. Now we're zoomed in, that's great, but I want to see an aerial view. So what I can do is I can just turn on the aerial with the bottom left corner here. This will turn on a satellite view, as well as provides road names and things like that on that layer. So now I have my location found. We have a project here that we need to supply aggregates to. So all I need to do to make that happen is I go to my request button here, click it. This will open my aggregates option here. I can click aggregates. And here, this will kick off our process of requesting aggregates from the RockChain platform. The first step is you'll want to set your delivery location, or where you want the materials dropped. So you just click set pin, and then you go over to the map and you click on the location of where you want the materials dropped. So if, let's say for instance, I want the materials dropped here, I can just click on the map. It'll automatically pull in my lat long as well as my physical address of that location. And if I want to move this, let's say I don't want it on this side of the road, I want it on the other side of the road, I can just click and drag it, move it over, and it'll update automatically accordingly. So once I have my location picked, now I'm ready to do my look at the quote deadline. So this is when I would want my material quoted and provided to me for budgetary purposes or for a specific project. So let's say I want to get the most optimal solution. I'm going to go out a couple weeks, and let's say I want my quote to return to me by June the 3rd. Just like that, it'll pull the date in there like that. And then I just want to go next and to go to the next step. So the next step is you actually want to add any materials that you need for your project. To do this, all you do is you click this green plus button. This opens up your material selection dialog. In this material selection dialog, you start by selecting your main product. So let's say for this project we want to order some gravel, and then we want to select a base type of gravel. So we're going to go to crushed, and then I can do specifications if I have them, or I can specify a designation or a name or subname. So let's say this one's a DES 620 material, and it's a 20. For size, I put 20, and for sizes, you can actually have two different units. You can either use inches or millimeters. In this case, I'm going to use millimeters. And then for quantity, I can put in my quantity here as well. So this is how much I want, and you can put in different units, 3 different options here, either cubic meters, tons, or yards. So I'm going to put tons here. And then if there's specific notes about this product that you want to add, you can type them into the notes section here as well. I don't have anything specific that I want to add to this one, so I'm just going to submit. So that's how easy it is to add a material. I'm just going to do that for a few more so you get the idea. So I'm going to go and order another gravel. This one I'm going to say washed, and I'm going to say size. I also want a 20 mil of this, and I'm going to say I want 650 tons. Submit. Then I'm going to go to the next one. Let's say because we're doing some road maintenance and it looks like we got a bridge there, we're going to have some riprap that we need for erosion control. I'm going to pick class 1 for riprap. And for this, I'm going to say our size is 200 millimeters. And I'm using 160 tons of this. And then one last product, just to get you give you an idea. We can also say we want some sand, fill, and then we can specify a quantity here. Let's say I want 1100, and just for some variety, I'll put in yards to show you that. Okay, so now I have all the products that I want to submit for this job. If I added a product that I don't want, I just click this X button, it'll get rid of it. But let's say these are all the ones I need. I'm going to go to the next tab. Okay, so now I put in here all the project details of what this project actually is for. So let's call this the Eagle Creek Bridge Repair. Then the next point is we want to put in when do we actually want the product delivered. So when is the actual execution of the project going to happen? Let's say we're going to actually execute this project late September, so September 20th is the date I want there. Site contact, this can be your contact, your name, or a specific person that's responsible for this job. Let's say it's going to be my brother, Jim Smith. And then that person's phone number. And then their email. And then a specific delivery note. So these are things that you can put in here like check road bands prior to delivery. And then you can also specify things like, if you want a specific trucking configuration is only can be allowed. Let's say I want only belly dumps only. You can specify that there. If you have files that you want to attach to this project as well, you can attach them through this browse button here. This will open up a dialog and allow you to attach PDFs to this project. You can add up to 10 PDFs, up to 10 megabytes per PDF. And things that you might want to add are like if you have spec sheets that you want to add, or if you have like a map that you want to add, you can add that too. Anything that you think would be useful for when completing the job here. So when we have all this information in, we just go next. And then here's the last step, and this is where we put in the buyer details. So let's say we have the buyer details. It's going to be myself, Joe Smith, and the company would be your county or the RM that's responsible for this. So we can just say RM123, and then the address, let's say Main Street, Paris, and then SK for Saskatchewan, and then the postal code for that place as well. And then the phone number. Oops, sorry, need a there. And then a phone number as well. And email. And then once we have all that information in, I can click next. And the last step you want to do is just verify all the information that you supplied. If everything looks correct, you can click submit. If not, you can just go back to the step that you want to correct. Let's say we want to update our materials. We can go back to the material step, which is the second step. Go in there, make our modifications, and then go back to our submit stage here. And then once we're satisfied that all the changes have been made and everything's accurate, we just click submit. This will kick off the submission process. And once it's complete, it will give you a notification that your submission has been successfully completed. And that's that thing there. You also see a little dot show up on the map, and I can also download a PDF of that request that was just submitted. If I open it up, this gives you all the details of the order for your records. This has also been emailed to the emails attached to the account. So you also have a record in your email account, but if you want to download it, you can have it there as well. And if there's any information that you're like, oh, actually I want to modify it, you can easily contact us through these channels. Just send us an email or give us a call, and we'll immediately make a change to your order. And then if you want, you can also just click on the dot. It'll bring up the information there. And then what you can also do is monitor your listings or any orders that you've put into the system right here. So we have an old one that I submitted for another demonstration here, but here's the one I just submitted here into the system. If I expand it, I can look at the materials that we ordered. I can click on this, zoom to the location on the map. I can click on it and also get additional details about like the drop location, any notes that were provided, the buyer details there. And additionally, you'll see this one has an active status here and it's been verified. This means that it's begun the process of actually going through to being fulfilled. And as this works through the process, this order as well will also start to show active, quoted, completed, approved, all the different statuses that go through each order. So now you guys have seen how easy it is to submit an order in the system. You're probably wondering what happens in the back end. How do you guys actually find us the best price for aggregates? So I'm going to hand it over to Anthony here, and he's going to walk you guys through that process. Anthony, are you there?
Oh, sorry about that. There's got to be one in every crowd. Thanks, Paul. So as we've seen from Paul's demo, members of the Saskatchewan Association of Rural Municipalities can make a request for aggregates in minutes on the easy-to-use RockChain portal. Once a request is made, RockChain processes each request leveraging 8 process-driven tools, starting with the customer PIN, which we call the project identifier and need. It's location specific, so where's the project taking place, and the need, whether it's trucking, aggregates, what specific resources required. Once we've identified the PIN, we run that through our market meter, which runs regional econometrics for aggregates and trucking around that PIN, plus or minus within 200 kilometers, 50 kilometers, whatever is required. Utilizing our trucking and supplier network powered by Terra Maps, which has all registered pits, both public and private. Once our market meter has run those econometrics, we then fire up our quote generator, which automatically transmits quote requests to pits and trucking companies sourced around the PIN. One of the frequently asked questions we often get are, do suppliers need to pay to be part of the RockChain network? The answer is no. Another frequently asked question we get is, does RockChain use local suppliers? Yes, in fact, RockChain is designed to pull suppliers within the PIN radius. This creates opportunity for the local pits and quarries and transport companies, often opportunities these companies may not have been aware of. Once our quote generator has sent out the quote request, we then run our bid builder, which recombines pits and trucking quotes into a master bid list. With the trade services program, there is a not to exceed price for each region. Once the bid builder has compiled all the received quotes, RockChain then runs our solution seeker, which is an algorithm that finds the optimal solution within the bid builder. This optimal solution often is lower than the not to exceed price, and that pricing is then passed on to the members. Once RockChain pre-qual, which is where the RockChain team screens all our suppliers for financial safety and quality, and RockChain verifies that all materials are within specification prior to delivery, mitigating potential risks. Once everything has been approved, our PO generator will automatically issue purchase orders for the best pit and trucking combo. Our operational excellence provides quarterly and annual reporting on project specifics, quotes, and order history. And one big advantage of the RockChain platform is just-in-time delivery solutions, reducing the need to stockpile materials in advance. And then if we can reload the deck.
Yep.
Sorry, guys, just bear with us. It's loading.
Yes, these things happen when we're running live demos, so we apologize for this.
And what you guys are seeing there in the graphic, that's something that happens in real time. So you guys can submit a pin in about, like you saw there, it's quite easy. So it takes maybe less than 5 minutes to submit a pin. And then in real time, we get that notification and we begin networking the market instantaneously, finding you guys the best producers for those products for the best price. And it can happen in as little as 24 hours, depending on how quickly you need your quote returned by.
Yes, and again, and if anyone on the presentation today wants a more in-depth demonstration of how we operate the back end and how we come up with that optimal solution, we'll be happy to book that with you after the presentation today. Should be loading up. So SARM participated in issuing a request for proposal, an RFP, for aggregate supply with related services on September 9th, 2020. AMI RockChain, as a successful proponent, included a not to exceed price list for various aggregate materials based on regional econometrics. SARM has covered steps 1 through 9 when it comes to your procurement on behalf of the members. As an outcome of the RFP process, the program is fully trade compliant. All that remains is for our members to post a request for aggregate, trucking, or value-added services on Merck's or whatever trade platform you're using. All that remains is for members to engage AMI RockChain and start using the service. The RockChain advantage. Members gain access to thousands of aggregate suppliers across Canada with a focus on local producers within the project region. A huge range of products including gravel, sand, clay, and other aggregate-related materials, including winter sand. Optional regulatory and resource engineering services through TerraShift Engineering, a division of AMI RockChain. Preferential pricing on annual RockChain platform subscription fees, aggregate materials, and engineering services. Also, you gain greater accuracy in cap levy accounting and reporting, and again, already tendered on your behalf through the Saskatchewan Rural Municipality Association. Participating in the Aggregates Trade Services Program with AMI RockChain is as easy as 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Contact our sales team at 1833-GOT-ROCK or email sales@AMIRockChain.com. Let us know that you want to use the trade services program. AMI RockChain will then set you up with a discounted annual subscription at only $472 a year. Then publicly post your intent to use the trade program again on Mercs or any other trade program you are using. 5, simply start using RockChain to get access to hundreds of aggregate suppliers across Canada, including your local producers. Preferential pricing on a huge range of products, including gravel, sand, clay, and other aggregate-related materials, including winter sand. Optional regulatory and resource engineering services through TerraShift Engineering, the division of AMI RockChain, and again, greater accuracy in budgeting through monthly and annual reporting. And with that, I think I'd like to thank everyone for joining us today, and we'll open it up for questions.
Great. Thank you, Anthony and Dana and Paul, for that comprehensive overview. So before we get into Q&As, I just wanted to thank you all for taking time out of your busy schedule to participate in this webinar. So remember, we're here to support our members and are providing continued services at this time. So I just encourage you to reach out to me to learn more about SARM trading services and how we can save you money on all your procurement requirements. Okay, so we'll take a look at some questions that have come through, if any. And if you have any, feel free to send them in the chat function.
Actually, Ainsley, I just wanted to mention.
Okay, so there's one that came through.
Oh, Ainsley, I just wanted to mention before we jump into the questions there is, I know there was a couple places there where the video stalled out. So again, Anthony had mentioned it, and I believe Paul had mentioned it there as well, but just to mention it one more time, is that if any of the members want a personal demo and where we can sort of customize it for your particular region, please reach out to us. We're more than happy to do another presentation with you. So.
Great, sounds good. So one of the first questions that came through is this program just for stockpiling materials on site, or is this for road graveling, like a road graveling program, like certain miles needed, like 100 yards per mile, or some need 300 yards per mile? So how does that work?
That's a great question. So the way that our program works is it's good for both. So we actually when the customer or when the member, the SARM member actually drops a pin or identifies that they need an order, we work with them to identify their needs, especially their delivery needs, once it gets on site. And so with regards to stockpiling, we have that ability to identify stockpile areas. They don't all need to be in the same spot, so we can create multiple stockpile locations if the client needs that, as well as for specific road maintenance jobs there where you might need a belly dump, and we can just drop the gravel as we go and spread it right in front of the grader so that you guys can complete your road maintenance. We can do that as well. And then we actually have good ways of setting that up in the system here as well. So if we're graveling long stretches of roads, we'll actually take center points along that project and make sure that we're actually networking the market to make sure that we're getting the best pricing for each portion of that project, not just looking at the project as a whole. So.
Great, thank you. The other question we have is, can we see a list of all local suppliers that are part of the program? And with hauling and trucking being a significant cost, I'm thinking the local outfits would normally get the job. Is that correct?
Yeah, so I'll tackle the first question there. Can we see a list of the local suppliers that are part of the program? So when you sign on to AMI RockChain there, what we actually do is you get the benefit of us having all those suppliers and transportation, but both on the sourcing and the transportation. And so what we do is we actually show you how we network the market. We get you that market intelligence of all the different folks we've sourced the material from and how you're getting the best pricing there. And that is offered to our clients that are actually in the program. And then with the second one, with hauling, trucking being a significant cost, I'm thinking the local outfits would normally get the job. You know what? In some cases, yes. But it is actually pretty impressive to see that, when we're actually able to identify all the pits in an area and all the trucking solutions, is sometimes the closest pit is not the best solution for cost. And sometimes not the best solution for the trucking either. And so what we do is we actually, when we're networking the market and identifying who we're going to be utilizing for a job, we actually go out in 50 and 100 kilometers. And in some cases for specialty material like riprap, or if there was there's probably not a lot of need for ballast, but if there was ballast, but that's a specialty product, sometimes we actually find that sometimes the further some of those further pits actually have greater access to those types of products and can be actually much more economical to use.
Great. Another question we have is, how do we handle discrepancies in the product being delivered if it isn't meeting spec, and who deals with that?
Yeah, so the benefit of using RockChain is that we take care of all that for you. So with regards to the quality side of things, what happens is that when we initiate an order, we actually have a quality division that reviews all of the project specs. And then we work with our suppliers to make sure that we meet that spec. And so we do that through a bunch of different ways. We actually have in-house quality technicians that'll actually go out to the site and verify the material, as well as if we're putting up a lot of this material, let's say if we're crushing 50, 100,000 tons, we'll be out there doing crusher control as well. So the usual standard is 1 every 5,000 tons. We can be taking samples as high as 1 every 1,000 or even less than that. So it's one of the most important parts of our model, is to make sure that those specifications are met when they meet the site or when they get to the site. And the other thing that we make sure that we do as well is that before any of that material is ever sent to site, is that we ensure the customer has all the lab testing data, all of the gradation data, just to make sure that you know what you're getting, and that it meets your specification.
Great. Okay, sounds good. Another question we have here is, are you able to get a quote without committing to the delivery?
Yes, most definitely. So I think there's two things that I sort of see in this question. So most definitely. So once you're signed up to AMI RockChain and you're in the system there, you can utilize this as many times as you want, and it doesn't commit you to the delivery, but you can go through there and get your trucking numbers as well as your supply numbers. And then we'll work with you to execute the project if we're the best solution. And then, could I just see that question one more time?
Oops, sorry.
Sorry, there was one other thing I was thinking about when I was looking at that.
Yeah, and I think to add on to what Dana was saying, once you're in the system and you're utilizing the RockChain platform, yes, you can get quotes if you're looking for budgetary numbers on a project. Whether that project 6 months or 12 months down the road, we can definitely re-network the market prior to executing on a delivery. I think that was part of the question.
And Ainsley, sorry, I remember the other part that I just wanted to mention there quickly. So with regards to that question, one of the other things that I wanted to just mention as well is that when you place an order, if you just want the source and you actually have trucks to complete the deliveries, we can actually do just the sourcing of the material. Or if the members have an aggregate source that they want hauled from, we can actually just provide the transportation. It's not an all or nothing. We provide all the services independently, and that goes the same with our engineering and regulatory services as well.
Great. Sounds good. I'll give some time for any other last minute questions that come through. Some other questions that I get from members are about, like, if they have their own pits, are they able to possibly sell any aggregates through the program?
That's a great question, and we should have addressed that. So yes. So if you have actually, this sort of works into a couple of different ways. So if you have your own pits and you're looking to monetize some of those pits, we actually put that into our program. And then anybody that's looking at sourcing aggregates there, that supply point comes up. And so we look at putting money back into the municipalities' hands through that side of things. And then the other part too that I just wanted to mention is that when you have a project, sometimes we have leftover material, and so that surplus material we do the exact same thing with. We identify where it's located, and and then what we do is we actually put that into the system as well. So again, when there's another project, industrial user, a town, maybe another municipality that's looking for material there, we've actually got that as a supply point.
Okay, great. I'll just ask maybe one more question that I get from members is, how do you go about customizing regular deliveries if they need something on a regular shipment basis? And is that something you can coordinate?
Yes, 100%. And we love those customers. So please sign up. So with regards to our platform, there's no job too big or too small. We work with many clients that, might need, 10,000 tons or 20,000 tons, but they need that over the course of a summer. And so, they might be taking, anywhere from hundreds of tons a week to maybe a couple thousand tons a week. And we actually work with them to make sure that we get those deliveries to you per your scheduled time frame. So yes, we love those customers. Please come on by. We'll help you out. Ainsley, I just saw another one up here for that Kathy Wirtz has sent in. Just what is the cost for using the service?
Okay.
Excellent. And Anthony, did you want to answer that?
Yeah, sure. Kathy, the cost to subscribe to our service is $472 annually, which allows your municipality or region to have unlimited folks on the platform, and gives you complete access to everything, whether it's engineering services, aggregates, trucking, it's full cycle. And I'd be happy to sit down with you and go through the platform again and the subscription and all the services it brings to the table for you.
Okay, I'm not sure if there's any other questions. But yeah, and if you guys want to just maybe summarize next best steps, is it just to reach out to you guys to connect and go from there?
Yes, 100%. So please reach out to us. I think Anthony had that on that last slide, and we'll make sure to provide that there to the folks that are on the call here today. But please reach out to us at sales@AMI RockChain.com. And you can also call us at 1-833-GOT-ROCK, and we'll be there to help you out with your needs. And then the other thing too is that you are able to sign up on AMI RockChain.com as well, and there's actually a toggle on there for the municipality's buying program. You hit that, and we will be reaching out to you extremely shortly. So those are the three ways to reach us.
Great. I do see one more question that came through. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yes, I was just going to state that anyone who's looking for that contact information, I believe today's presentation will be shared via PDF, so that should be easy to find.
Yeah, it's on the files here that you can upload. It looks like Adam provided that link. So yeah, and the other question that came through is, do you have a person on site coordinating and supervising the graveling program, like checking for quantities and quality, etc.?
Okay, I think this is, yeah, so from the pit side of things, 100% we do. We also, through our operational excellence program there, we ensure that depending on the size of the project there, we ensure that we have coordinators on site to make sure that the project is running smoothly and safely. And then as far as checking the quantities and qualities, if we're talking about actual like density testing and the QA/QC on site, that is a service that we also provide through TerraShift. So if that was of interest to actually have those engineering services on site during a road program, we can also provide those as well.
Great, sounds good. If there's no other remaining questions, I'll pass it off to Amanda to close things off.
Okay, thanks, Ainsley. I'd just like to thank everyone for attending the session today. As well, I'd like to thank our presenters for providing us with a great overview of AMI RockChain's aggregates program. And again, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to myself or Ainsley, and we'd be happy to help you. So I hope everyone has a great rest of their afternoon.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.